Hey, Dave here, Fix and Fly RC. It's a nice cold January morning here, January 19th, 2026. The winds are not bad, a little cold maybe to go fly. We'll see today. Hey, so getting really close to finishing my F-16 makeover from the Thunderbird scheme that come out of the box with E-flite to an Israeli desert camo. All in all, I'm pretty happy with this being my first time really taking a plane out of the box and doing a repaint and a rescheme. I fixed some planes and repainted them, and most of the time for big jobs, this is a 70 millimeter. For the bigger jobs, I use, historically I've done the shaker cans. Little harder to control the overspray, and you got to be a lot more careful about how you mask things off. So with the airbrush, it's definitely a lot easier to control where you wanted the paint to go. Obviously a little bit longer to take, because with a shaker can, you clearly cover more area quickly. So there's positive and negatives of that, but all in all, I'm pretty happy. Clearly there's still a lot of cosmetic things I could have fixed and done differently. Kind of, a quick recap is, out of the box, removed the decals, did some sanding, then tried to fill in some of the gaps and holes and a little bit of some of the panel lines. I'm going to go back in now and darken up, but they were just a little too deep. I didn't do the fuselage because it was just going to be too much. If it was going to be a show plane, I guess that'd be a different story. So foam is definitely, a little different animal, and even through the repaints and the sanding and covering, after I filled in with a lightweight spackle, then, 4 coats of polyacrylic, sanding in between, then did like a 600 grit wet sand on the last one. Then started the paint process, and I've got 4 or 5 videos on my channel that kind of cover the process, but you can clearly still see the egg crating that's that comes with foam. I mean, you would physically have to cover the whole plane and to prevent that from happening. So you can clearly see that. There's a few places with some holes and stuff, and there's like a little gouge in here in the wing that kind of showed up after the painting. And I could have gone back in and patched that and gone through the process and got that ready, but I just kind of wanted to just kind of get through the process and see how one turned out. So this is pretty much the finished product. As you can see, the painting, I painted the missiles, and in this particular scheme you can see that the underneath is just a gray. And so a couple things real quick. Did a lot of research on the internet, looking at pictures, trying to get, close to what the scheme is. Like if you look at the RC Geek and some of the others, you're never going to match one exactly, but you kind of want to get the same, you want to get the general feel of it. So I think I've got to the general feel of the pictures and stuff I looked at. So I'm pretty happy with that. I used ChatGPT quite a bit, quite honestly. Started asking questions, and the graphics, I love the graphics. Kali Graphics, highly recommend her. I've got several planes with Kali Graphics on now. They're really well done, good quality. They definitely make the plane pop out a little bit better. I would say this is probably the most difficult one that I did, because there was a ton of really small graphics, and like from the underneath, don't know if you can see them. Maybe I'll put a picture up on the video with that. And the only drawback that I would have with Kali Graphics is that there's no placement instructions about where they go on the plane, and so it's really incumbent upon you. You got to go look at pictures and find the best locations, and that's where ChatGPT really helped me a lot. But I ended up spending probably 3 or 4 hours, researching, putting it on there, actually taking pictures and sending it to ChatGPT and says, is this the right place? And it would say, move it left or right. So if somebody's an expert on the F-16 and I missed some locations that you spotted right off the bat, because I've had that before, people are like, oh, you got that one backwards or that one's in the wrong place, you can let me know. But anyway, so I have gotten it all hooked up now. I did, this is a pretty old plane. I mean, it was new out of the box, but it's been sitting in a box for about a year or more. But it was a bind and fly, so it had its own receiver. So I've upgraded the receiver to the version 3. So if I want to do the nose steering, I can do that now. There's only one channel left, so I'm trying to decide if I want to do some nose steering. I think also maybe I want to convert this to flaperons since it doesn't have flaps. So I'm going to decide what I'm going to do with that last channel. But, I'm really excited. We got a plane ready to go. And
throttle cut on, throttle cut off.
Oh, I put a low battery in here, so it's not giving me enough to do the throttle. It gave me that warning when I plugged it up. But anyway, take a look at the other videos if you're interested in how I did the laying out of the camo and the spraying. That was a really good process. I like that. I will say there were a few places that, as much as I sanded, cleaned, and even put some overspray, but like before I put the graphics down, I did put a coat of sealer on it. I was still could get paint pull up. So, and that's, taking, frog tape and, putting it on your clothes and getting as much sticky as you can off. Occasionally you're still going to get a place that it picked up some paint. So, but that's just more of a learning. I'll have to figure out how to do that better. But all in all, again, I'm pretty pleased with the results for the first time around of doing a plane like this. Now I just got to either, one, get brave enough to fly it after putting the work into it. And then, of course, two, got to have some good enough weather where the winds are at a place where I'm ready to fly it. So anyway, until the next project, I'm trying to decide. I think I got an A10 that I bought off Facebook Marketplace that had a life, and I think I'm going to clean it up and kind of do keep the scheme, but do a repaint on it. So love if you had any comments, suggestions, recommendations, give me a like, and let me know if this helped anybody. So anyway, Dave here, Fix and Fly RC. Happy flying.